This is the sign of the horns. A curse sign, the two fingers extended. This way, spread apart for sort of shotgun blast, you know.
So that's the sign of the horn, and then what happens? Is that it?
Well, the other ones, too.
Yeah, what are the other ones?
The other ones, one is the pox sign, that's three fingers extended.
A pox on you?
A pox on you. During the Middle Ages, this was...
Yeah, oh yes.
But
You're
originally...
a bad cat.
Well, you have to be bad to be good. Mercy.
Older than witches.
All right. And, you know, again, just to show and prove I'm not a hater, you know, hey, you know, my drums, if you know those drums, you know, that's from Black Moses, quote unquote, Isaac Hayes. But let's look at a couple of folks who recently did versus battles, and they may be a little bit more familiar to some of the younger listeners. Also, when I say old school, I have to qualify that because nowadays, for some folks, old school might mean total or 702. But when I say old school, I'm talking about 70s music and 80s music primarily. Okay, prior to the 90s blending of hip hop and R&B, where soul music had a particular sound. So we're going to look at these songs. Maybe a couple of them might hit the early 90s, but let's give a little template to everything that we're going to listen to tonight by way of this first one that happens to be by one of folks' favorite makers of pie, Miss Auntie Patty. So let's look at that one. Let me pull it up. So Somebody Loves You, Baby, by Patty. Everybody knows the song. Those first few notes. I hope you guys are not buffering. I really do. I'm going to check in the chat in one hot second. But the first few notes of the song are famous. They play it still to this day on the urban radio stations and on classic radio stations. It kind of crossed over. So you know the song when it comes on. You know the hook. That's why it's called the hook. It's the part everybody knows. It's the part that gets everybody, right? You don't know the lyrics. You know she goes, somebody loves you, baby. Oh, 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 somebody loves you, baby. You know who it is. Now she begins to tell you a story. Now, this songwriter's secret or this witch language thing also works on certain assumptions that we're making. We make the assumption that this is going to be a story about how she met this guy that she wants to know, you know, she wants him to know, hey, somebody loves you and it's me. This is the story she tells. It happened so suddenly. I woke up one morning with you on my mind. No matter what I did, I couldn't stop thinking about you. One of the instant replay of yesterday, and then in some lyrics to say on an instant replay of yesterday. So in other words, I couldn't stop thinking about you yesterday either. And no matter what I did, I couldn't stop thinking about you. I woke up one morning and all of a sudden you was on my mind. So she goes back into the hook or the chorus. Then the next lyrics, you don't know this. These escape you. They escaped me for many years. I've heard this song 3 million times. But it wasn't until I read the lyrics. I'm under your spell. I don't want to break free. You can make a slave out of me. Ladies, any ladies here in agreement with any of that? You ever told your man that? I worship you and nobody else. I pledge my love to you forever. Now, this is when my cousin Rob picked up on something new that we can add to the Songwriter Secret thing. As I was going over this with him the other day, that's what made me start with this song, is because it blew his mind. But he took note of how she says, I pledge my love to you forever. He was like, it's an oath. So yes, we can say that these Songwriter Secret songs, that these so-called love songs are declarations of love or declarations of servitude or oaths of allegiance to this Luciferian crew. And you'll find it in song after song after song, in many more obvious ways and in some more cunning ways. This is kind of flat out. But one thing that keeps people from being able to hear it at first, and I can probably play the song, actually, the very first Songwriter Secret song that I heard it in. But what makes you unable to really grasp what the lyrics are saying in reality is because of the melody and the rhythm and the harmony, the beauty of those things, which are heavenly things. So, we talk about subjective. If you ask me, the music sounds good. The music sounded better during those times when the music was made from actual instruments made of wood and metal and natural things that vibrated. Now you have instruments that do not vibrate. You can bang on them as hard as you want to. They won't vibrate. If I go over to my mama's and I bang on that baby grand piano, when I stop banging on it, you can feel the resonation, the vibration. So the vibe, quote unquote, of the music feels better. I prefer 70s and 80s instrumentation and arrangement. I like the sound of the instruments better, and I like the arrangements better. So that is not the question. That's inconsequential. But for some people, if they like something, they can't say nothing bad against it. That's how some people do with their gerunds. But you need to be able to recognize what's what in a thing, whether you like it or not. Whether it's a person, it's a job, whatever it is. So the fact that I liked the music was one of the main things that kept me from seeing this spell that we're going to look at in song after song after song. But it's also what made it so intriguing to me once I started to see these lyrics. And again, within each song, there has to be a strong declaration, and then they'll sweeten everything or hide that by way of the hook and the chorus and the other verses packed around it. But without a doubt, this is one, and it's telling you, who the you is. When she says somebody loves you, baby, we understand that the you is not who you thought it was. Again, I'm under your spell. I don't want to break free. You can make a slave out of me. Now, you can say, well, this is just an example of songwriting where they go overboard in love songs. And there's something to be said for that. Going overboard in love songs is lying. The father of lies, again, is the influence or the spiritual influence behind the writing of the song. And okay, you could say that if this were an isolated incident. But we're going to find this in song after song after song, the same theme repeated until you can no longer dismiss this particular song as one that is some sort of anomaly because your love ain't Patty. And that's all right. Love her, pray for her. A lot of these women, like Shaka Khan, apparently walked into something that they didn't realize was as deep as it was. And, you know, didn't understand what it took to get out of it. And what they generally will teach you within that business, once you're in the business and you run to somebody else in the business and you say, oh my God, it's devilishness in this. Oh my God, they're doing something to me. Oh my God. Once you tell somebody else in the business, then they point you to quote unquote white witchcraft. White witchcraft and black witch wing. They both parts of the same entity. Right wing, left wing, same dragon. You need both to fly. So the same thing with black and white witchcraft. Black witchcraft, again, is for those who are bold, take the left-hand path, and they know what's what, and they're not at all under any delusion of grandeur or goodness or righteousness. No self-righteousness in them. You can say that. But to those who take the right-hand path, those are the people who believe that they're doing good or doing something for good. So they'll oftentimes push them into going to find a Yoruba priest or priestess to pray over them and, you know, protect me from these evil devils in the business. That's probably one of the reasons why Chappelle went to Africa. They'll tell you that the only way to fight these devils' magic and sorcery is with magic and sorcery, good magic and protective sorcery. You know, and that's how a lot of them get wrapped up into it. And then me and you look at them and we like, she look witchy. Shaka was probably trying to protect herself and wrecked herself. But let's look at some more. See what folks are saying. Cousin Bobby, you good over there? Right on, right on. Yeah, I just introduced my cousin, or maybe reintroduced him to the Songwriter Secret. And after telling you guys I was going to do one and knowing that we hadn't done one in a while, I said that, Cousin Bobby, you good over there? Oops. I said that we'd do one tonight, and he wanted to sit in. So, yes. So, you know, the cover lyrics, I need you right now. Baby, don't say no, because you look like you're ready to get it on. Whatever you give me, I give it to you back. All the love you'll ever need, I'll give to you. Why does the devil need declarations of love? Why would he need that? Why would the devil need declarations of love? He does everything to mock the Lord. You know, we see him as this wicked entity, and deservedly so because he is, but we forget that he wants to be seen as a God. He wants them to give him expressions of love and worship, just as the Most High. He wants to be like the Most High, like Isaiah said. I think everybody know this song. Okay, that song come on, everybody's ready to eat them a piece of barbecue and have a cold one. But about right here, I think is where he says it. About 1:15. Okay, well, right there when he comes in, he's going to say, just like Adam and Eve, you said you set me free. You took me to the sky. I've never been so high. And that flies right past you because the music is jamming and, you know, the bass is pumping, and it carries you away like a giant bat-winged entity with talons. You get carried away. And you don't even notice that is said. But just like Adam and Eve said, you set me free. Is he comparing her to God incorrectly? Because God didn't say he was going to set Adam and Eve free. That ain't my recollection. My recollection is it was the devil who lied and said that he was going to set Adam and Eve free. And it's that belief to this day. But let's jump to Ashford and Simpson, It Seems to Hang On. The first one that turned me on was Ashford and Simpson. It Seems to Hang On. The very first one I ever heard it in. That's a cold one. And we can probably play it. So let's try that. If it was the first one for me, it might be the first one for some of you. It Seems to Hang On. And again, you know, you dropped a bomb on me. You were my hope. You were my dope. You know, the idea that these are songs to women and to men is one of the reasons why romance is so jacked up to this day. Because people's expectations subconsciously have been adjusted and influenced by the lyrics to these songs, where the goal is to go overboard and say the most, well, at least back in this time with love songs. They really don't write love songs so much anymore. But with love songs, quote unquote, EVOL songs, with them, the goal was to go overboard in your promises. You know, I promise you to the no, I'll follow you to the moon and the stars above. No, you're not, Luther. We know he wasn't talking to no woman. But again, these lofty things, the things that Stevie Wonder says in Rocket Love, you know, a female Shakespeare of your time with looks to blow Picasso's mind. You ladies might think you're fine, but I bet ain't nobody never told you nothing like that. And if they did, you think it was a line, because it is a line. So, but that's how love songs are built. So it's the perfect vessel that you can give worship and honor and praise to this entity through. Lucifer, as a matter of fact, you know, when you read Song of Solomon, it's not the same type of poetry. This poetry is based upon feeding the pride and flattery, lying. So they heap it on. But It Seems to Hang On is a very interesting one. So let's check it out here. It's interesting. They could be making the triangles with their angles here in the album cover. Ashford and Simpson, known to be song. And so I know the lyrics, but just again for familiarity's purpose, if we can play a few. Now, you probably know that song. And Luther wasn't on the zesty side. Luther was all the way live. He wasn't hiding his in his later years. Okay, so the lyrics to It Seems to Hang On by Ashford and Simpson, they were a big part of Motown's writing division and department. Both Ashford and Simpson and the Whispers were once employed by and affiliated with a record label called Scepter and Wand. I thought that was interesting. Scepter and Wand Records. The scepter for the royalty, he sees himself as royal, and the wand for the magic aspect, because again, that's his religion. Magic, new age, all of the things that people don't recognize as magic. But the lyrics to It Seems to Hang On, part of why you don't catch on to the lyrics in this song is the way that it is delivered, the seductive manner in which Valerie Simpson delivers her lyrics, and even sometimes the contorting of the words. In Michael Jackson's songwriter Secrets, some of what he says is unintelligible. You know, who knows what it is? Maybe you have to turn those backward. But this is not the backward masking that many are familiar with. This is the forward masking, the songwriter secret going forward. So here they are explaining what seems to hang on. Now, you are supposed to, again, assume, and you know what that does. You're supposed to assume that the it that seems to hang on is love. And she does indeed whisper in her delivery, which is whisper, and Shaitan is also known as the whisperer, or I think it was Al-Shakur, but don't quote me on the ancient language pronunciation. It slips my mind right now, but yes, one of the names For the serpent was the whisperer. He whispered. When you imagine that the voice of that walking, talking serpent would be whispery. So here's Valerie. Is it daylight? She say, I can't tell no more. Never had this condition before. Now, first of all, the blues aspect. You don't sound so happy. Is it daylight? You can't tell no more? You in darkness? You never had this condition before? Usually when you speak of a condition, you're talking about something you want to get rid of. Usually you're talking about something you want to get rid of. She says, everywhere I turn. Then the background singers in the background, they whisper, it seems to hang on. She says, everything I do, it seems to hang on. Was I mistaken about you? That's a constant question asked in the lyrics of these artists as we look at these different songs, especially in R&B and soul. As a lot of them came from these gospel singing backgrounds, I think one of the pleasures that the devil would get out of signing them and getting them to compromise is to watch them be tormented by the fact that they had been raised up in the way they should go, and they knew they had went astray. And in these times, the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where a lot of these songs is going to come from, in these times, you would not only bring shame upon yourself, but your family. It wasn't worth the money unless you could keep it a secret. So they're living with this secret. And writing these songs also can be seen as a cathartic way of expressing it, especially when they're lamentations. This one is a lamentation. And the devil does not only, of course, want to be praised, but he loves when you cry and wail and gnash your teeth because of having chose his trick. He loves to see you squirm and regret your decision. So many of the songs I like to call lamentations. It seems to hang on. Sade, Soldier of Love. Janet Jackson, Pleasure Principle. And we'll look at those as we go forward. But Valerie says, was I mistaken about you? So now you're instantly forced into thinking, well, she must be talking about some man. And then in comes Nick Ashford, Blackula. And he starts off with, aside from wanting you, background singers, it seems to hang on, aside from needing you. So they wanted it because they were given the information that this is what gets you to the top. So they wanted it. They needed it because without having this spirit on your back, this rocket to propel you up and give you a star, without having that, you're not going to make it to the top. So he says, aside from wanting you, it seems to hang on. Aside from needing you, it seems to hang on. Let me give you some idea. It ain't just the tears. The fact of it is, I can't go nowhere. I can't be the same. I don't know my name. I can't understand just why. It seems to hang on. You ever had a young lady make you feel that way, Bob, before you was married?
No.
Never ever? She never made you not know your name and not understand why? It seems to hang on. And again, you are to make an assumption that the it is love. So here comes Valerie again. She come back in again, sounding like she's about half depressed about her decision. She says, wasn't I clever as only I can be? So I thought I was doing something smart for my career. Wasn't I clever as only I can be? But tell me, what's happening? What's bothering me? And then here come Nick again. He says, aside from dreams I had, nothing else exists. What kind of talk is this about a woman? Honey, it's you I miss. Don't leave me like this. Then they go back to, I can't go nowhere. This is a complaint. I can't be the same. I don't know my name. I can't understand just why it seems to hang on. And then this was the real killing part. Well, not the real killing part, but like a snowball rolling down the hill, it seems to hang on. Now, in every cartoon I ever saw, that meant bad news. I look behind me, it's there still. Now, that's something that'll make you cuss. And then he come in like, ooh, like a shadow, it follows. Does this sound good? Then they go into, oh, and then they go into this refrain of, loose me, loose me, loose me. Then they plead, please. Then they hit it again, don't they, Bob? Please. So there's that one. That's the first one ever opened me up. My eyes were opened. Only the Lord know how late I stayed up that night. Can you imagine? So now I heard it in this song. For some reason, I didn't jump to the conclusion, oh man, it's Ashford and Simpson. I knew I said it's got to be in other songs. And I filled up a notebook with songs. This was 2011. So this is the 10-year anniversary. We had 50,000 subscribers. This is my favorite lesson to teach, as y'all can hear. I just enjoy myself when I'm teaching this lesson. But we have many, many Songwriter Secret live streams where we went over many songs and took requests from people and went outside of soul and R&B. Blinded by the Light, that's one of the coldest ones in soft rock. Soft rock has a lot of them because, again, it's that allure. The devil likes to hide in the disguise of the smooth music. Hall & Oates got a lot of them. Love Hall & Oates. Loved Hall & Oates. Past tense, past tense. We know nobody here listens to any of this. Man, please, when I saw the verses with Shaka and Stephanie Mills, who I just knew Shaka was going to annihilate Stephanie Mills, but Shaka couldn't put down that vodka. Vodka. But as I've shared before, that was my mother's favorite singer. I grew up listening to her voice. To this day, her voice takes me back to old houses and childhood and everything. And so she is my favorite female singer. And I don't let nobody talk down about no Shaka Khan. No. But again, she was a victim of the system. She has a lot of them. When I saw that verses, she sang a couple of songs that took me back, to when I was a little guy with my mama listening to the Shaka Khan records and letting me put them on the turntable. And I went and listened to a couple of them songs. Doesn't mean that you're bound for hellfire and brimstone. The whole key to living in this world, living in this matrix, is awareness, knowing what it is that you see, knowing what it is that you hear, not walking in oblivion. That's how you become a proverbial zombie. Some of y'all is waiting for literal zombies. They have spiritual proverbial zombies out here walking around, spiritually blind, deaf, and dumb to everything that goes on around them. Now, we may have gotten unblinded and many of us got undumb. But still too many are deaf and unable to hear the songwriter's secret. Now, if you can't hear the songwriter's secret and It Seems to Hang On, the very first one that opened up my can, I can't understand. But let's move on to another one. Shaka mean fire. And, that name was given to her by in some Yoruban ceremony, which seems to be a common thing that they do with the black entertainers who are very Afrocentric. They will try to twist that, good intended people who have no desire whatsoever to link up with the devil, but they just don't have enough overstanding and really discernment is the proper word. Overstanding is their word. So I use them when we're talking about their things, but when we're talking about things of the Lord, they just don't have enough discernment to see through what it is that they're doing because pride has given them a blind side. That's why I say you can't be in pride. You can't be in black pride, gay pride, no type of pride, no way pride. Pride caused Lucifer to fall and he's smarter than all y'all. So let's move on to the next one here. You can do all things through the one that strengthens you. So yeah, they do that. A lot of them got hooked up with them. Isaac Hayes was made a royal member of some tribe. I won't say that was Yoruban because I don't recall that specifically, but I do know of other entertainers who went through that particular doorway. For some folks, they'll use other things. But they have the gateways, gateway Satanism, gateway Luciferianism. No, you're not going. No, they don't. They're not going to walk up to nobody and say, "Hey, man, you have to write a song to worship Lucifer." That's not how it starts. They ease you in. For many of them, the really new agey ones, it's the angel. We have an angel that is going to assist you. It's worked for so many other artists before you. We want to bless you with this angel. We're going to have you meet with Agavad Bhakti, and Dr. Bhakti is going to show you how to get in contact with this angel just by getting in contact with your higher self and raising up your elevations in your chakras and letting your pineal gland become uncalcified. Then you can get in touch with this angel, and this angel will actually assist your career. And it's happened for such and such a singer and such a singer and such a rapper. And we can do it for you too. We just need to get your master tape, and we're going to have Dr. Akvat. He's going to do a special ceremony using sage and lavender and chamomile. And he's going to cause for an angel to come up, and that angel is going to assist you. And they hide a lot of things with the nickname deal. The nickname baby, darling, and other so-called pet names are really nicknames. Old Nick is one of the old English names for the devil, a well-known name for a long time, old jolly old Saint Nick. On a Luciferian level, and in the context of this particular subject matter, the use of a nickname is also a good disguise for the true object of devotion in these songs. So when they saying baby, they talking about Lucifer. And sometimes they even say Lucy. Rick James had one called Lucy's Rap, where Roxanne Shante is doing the rap on the song, but portraying the role of Lucy, obviously, if you look at the lyrics. We may look at that one. And even deeper, that taking on of a nickname, it can be used to assign new identities and personalities that these devils can then possess this entertainer through, using trauma-based mind control and other types of devilish techniques. The devil renaming you as his, starts with another name. That becomes another personality. Like, some people are called a nickname out in the street, and they are a whole another way than they are when they're in the house and called by their given name. So the devil takes advantage of that dynamic, and in mockery of doing the things that's found in scripture, he will rename you as his, give you a new name so that you can then be called by his name. There's your little Nas Montero reference. Okay, now let's see who people voted for. Okay, real good quick question that I want to field this question because a lot of people might have it on their minds. So let me clarify. I try to say things very specifically. My wording is not just because I'm loquacious, okay, or, hyperverbal. My wording is so that I cover a lot of things in what I say and in what I don't say. So, baby, I'm not going to tell you as a grown woman that you should not call a grown man baby. Let Dr. Francis Cress Welsing do that. But I'm not telling you that baby is something in and of itself evil and satanic to say. Certainly not. It's something that people say to folks that they love. That's not what I mean. And that's not what I said. So you can still call your significant other baby. Nowadays, I hear the nephews calling each other baby. Yeah. Get that money, baby. That type of thing. No. Tap in, baby. No. But anyway, So that's to clarify that. And people say nicknames. I meant to say this part too. Lord have mercy. Y'all, my name is Theodore. Don't none of y'all call me that. You don't have permission. My grandfather, the only person in my entire family that called me Theodore, because he says, I don't like nicknames, that called me Theodore. Rest in peace. He's been gone since I was 15, 16 years old. But his thing was, I don't like nicknames. Your name is Theodore. My mama, I don't know how she sounds saying the word Theodore, okay? I can't tell you right now how your auntie sounds saying Theodore. My cousin called me Ted. My granny called me Teddy. Some people in the hood called me T. My buddy Dwight D. Point called me Jack. So I'm not anti-nickname. It's not what I said. I said that through that, the adversary uses, or rather that is one of the things he can use, because it's not sanctified. So being the legalist that he is, the devil don't need an advocate. He's the best lawyer. He can twist the laws, and they can say, okay, because you have created this, you have this other storage of personality or this other self. Like I said, how some dudes be out in the street and everybody call him Killer Dan. And then when he get home with his mama, she call him Danny Boy. And he's two different personalities when he's in and outside the house. That can be taken to an extreme by these devils who study and master ways to manipulate the mind. Okay? So hopefully I got that straight. Now, let's move on. Now, y'all call me Unc. All right, now let's move on. Or brothermintheo, BrotherTheo, unplug them. Sure. And Angel of the Night, Angela Bofield is another one. I just didn't mention it. But definitely Sister Joanne Friedman, Angel of the Night, Angela Bofield, You Cannot Deny. Angel by Angela Winbush, You Cannot Deny. And I will tell you, Lay Your Troubles Down is one of the most blasphemous songs you'll ever hear. And videos. You got to watch the video to lay your troubles down. So let's start with, you see, I got so much, I'm just overflowing. But let's be more in order here, and orderly. So let's start with, first one I saw was Atlantic Star. We've looked at the video before because Atlantic Star may not have had a video, but it was remake. The song was remade by Incognito without Mesa, with the girl that came after Mesa, and they made a video for it. I used the video in my Songwriter Secret documentary that I mentioned, I think, in one of the live streams that got pulled down. But Atlantic Star, Silver Shadow, You Cannot Deny It. This is one of the first ones I would tell you to take to your cousins or your aunts and uncles, is Silver Shadow. This will be one of the very first ones that you should take to them. Now let's look at the lyrics, because I say that because it's so undeniable. What else is she talking about? Brothers, have your lady ever called you a silver shadow? She might have called you a black something else, but I doubt if she ever called you a silver shadow. Yep, Anita Angel too. All the Angel songs, even in more recent times, Chris Brown, Angel. And yes, it's done in recent times, of course. It's just no sense in us looking into that. It's so obvious. If you listen to the lyrics to, it's a new song by Saweetie, and I think some Jamaican girl. It is Songwriter Secret certified, called Sway With Me. So yes, it's still being done, but my point was to show you, I don't think people doubt is it still being done. My point is to show you how long they've been doing this. I mean, it goes back to the classical age. We can talk about the devil's tone or the tritone, the devil's chord. We can talk about that, and how when Jessica was at Michigan State University, my baby sister, she called me up and she told me that they was teaching about this devil's chord, which was outlawed and banned by the church because they believed that these keys, the combination of these three keys like you open a door with, that these keys opened up doorways for demonic spirits or devils, better said. But I don't know why the Catholic Church was beefing in, because that's what they into. Silver Shadow. At that time, they hadn't been totally taken over. See, there was times in which, even when we talk about the brotherhood, there was times in which they still had to let some men of honor slip through for the facade of that. But let's look at Silver Shadow, one of the angel songs that doesn't say angel in the title. Many of them. Some of y'all was looking at the Soul Train Music Awards. Who got the Soul Train Award? We're going to get him tonight too. Y'all, don't let me forget Ascension. Don't let me forget Ascension before we leave here. So we can be sure to talk about D Nice boyfriend. I'm sorry. His ex. My bad. No. Silver Shadow. She say glowing shadow, shining brightly for all to see. First of all, what in tarnation, woman, what are you talking about? What kind of love is this? What kind of loving is this you talking about? You're a little too far out for me, baby. That's what somebody would have told her back in the 70s. I remember gazing, and actually this is 80s, 85. She says, I remember gazing on this quiet night. So she's telling you a story. What's the story about? I remember gazing on this quiet night. The stars were bright as they could be, wondering if things would ever go right, and if there was a spot up there for me. Then, now, hold on. First of all, nothing about this is a romantic setup. Check. Okay. This is a person by themselves reflecting on their life like Teddy P does in Love TKO. He's reflecting on his life and about to make that big decision. Just like Kenny Loggins in This Is It. He's reflecting on his life and he's about to make this big decision. So here she is. And again, the songwriter is behind the song. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, the singer, here she is remembering how she was gazing on a quiet night. Ain't got nothing to do with no man. Then she said the stars were bright as they could be, wondering if things would ever go right. What often drives people into Luciferianism who would never consider it otherwise is once they are convinced that it is the key to success. See, people don't believe that. People outside the business don't believe it because it's hidden from them. And people inside the business oftentimes don't believe it until they reach a particular point in their career or until they try to get over a particular point in their career and they find there's a ceiling. How come I can't get through this ceiling? This is one of those songs. She's coming to this understanding. She's gazing on this quiet night. The stars were bright as they could be. She's wondering if things would ever go right. This doggone career of mine, I've been singing in these little clubs and I've been trying to make it. And I'm just trying to make it so I can buy my mama a new house and send my brothers to college. Whatever the case may be. What drives a lot of young singers and rappers into the arms and bosoms of Baphomet. And if there was a spot up there for me, is there a spot up among the stars for me? Many of the stars are named after entities, gods, goddesses, and other things. So it is the desire. It is one way that the devil vibes with all of this is because he wanted to be a star. Now he's the star of the story they always tell. Listen to that one. Don't let me forget to get to that one tonight. That's one of the coldest ones ever because it's by Rodney Temperton, who is one of the master songwriter secrets writers, one of the writers who has mastered it and could do it time after time. Same thing with Michael McDonald. So here she is gazing up in the sky and she says, then one star got brighter by the minute. What's going on? Is she standing in front of a train tunnel? Strange that it seemed to have my name written in it. Okay, now this is definitely not a love song at this point. Check. She said, I reached for the star and it kissed me with its light. It made me cast a shadow. They have it incorrect here. Of course it's shadow. The name of the song is Silver Shadow. So sometimes these lyrics on here are incorrect, but I'm going to bet you Big Unk get it right because I used to listen to these songs day and night. She says, it made me cast a shadow that was silver and bright. Shadow. The same thing as it seems to hang on. Nick Ashford even said, like a shadow, it follows, like he about halfway scared. So this spirit is being compared to a shadow. So which language is getting decoded? Right here. Now you can think of other songs with shadow in the context that we're in here. Not every song with shadow or the word shadow in it, okay? When you introduce this to people, you got to do it the right way, because people are sensitive about the entertainers, and also they want to be quick to tell you that this is crazy. This is crazy. You're crazy. Tell you, me and my homeboy Rick, we almost got into it over Anita Baker. We're from Detroit. And he took it as I was trying to say Anita Baker was worshiping the devil and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we like to get into it. But I digress. You know, it's my brother from another mother. But so here she is, silver shadow, glowing shadow, shining brightly for all to see. What is that? So that the hook, 9 times out of 10, now feel me, feel this. I never had any good reason to thank my lucky stars. I ain't never had no good luck. I've never had no good fortune. I've never had favor from the Most High. I've never had any reason to thank the psychics I done been to, and none of that. Things did not go right. Things have not been going right for me. That's what that means. I never had any good reason to thank my lucky stars. For most people in the secular world, that's depressing. That's self-pity. It's resentment, bitterness. But check this out. She say, but now I got a pretty good reason, 'cause I know I'm gonna go far. So now she got a good reason, now that she done hooked up with this silver shadow. Now she got a good reason to be thankful. I believe in magic. I really do. With all that's happened, it's got to be true. I cast the silver shadow from the kiss of the light. I knew that I was destined, starting with tonight. And somebody on that Queen Mother got a New Age noir bull is going to say, oh, no, that's just her. That's just because she reached the highest peak of her chakra. She elevated her chakras and she was in tune. Okay, so then how you explain this? Since I was chosen among the rest, I dedicate myself. There's the pledge, Bob. I dedicate myself. I'm going to be the very best, and my shadow forever silver will remain, and the world will always remember my name. Sound like a supervillain's boast, right? Because again, it is a spirit that's kin with the devil within. Let's move on. And again, so I'm not going to say what these people are or what they not going to judge them. I don't see a man's name in the songwriting, but you know, they were a group. They may have worked this all out together. They also have a song called Touch a Four-Leaf Clover. Maybe you'll get over. Try your luck. So they're into the luck and magic thing. If y'all can see my cousin's face, he looking like, wait a minute. I love it. So let's move on to the next one. Y'all want to see another angel one? Show me it's not a fluke, Brother Theo. This could just be a fluke, Brother Theo. You found these few songs. It's a fluke. What's the coldest one? Angela Bofield, Angel of the Night, is undeniable, but not as popular as I found an angel, I found an angel. So now, let's look at that. All I want, that's the jam. They still play that to this day, right? So let's look at that. Angel, song by Angela Winbush. Now, this is one of the ones I would love to play the video because it goes with what we're going to be breaking down. I'll point those out as we go through them so that you can, in your own spare time, watch the video with your overstanding of the songwriter's secret. Some of those videos, like Vesta, Once Bitten, twice shy. Vesta once been twice shy. That video goes along with what we're talking about. That's a lamentation. She got bit by that business. It made her think twice about dealing with it, shy about dealing with it. That's what that means, once bitten, twice shy. And you can fill in the blanks. But let's look at Angel, a song by Angela Winbush, once wed to lay, or eyebrows Ronnie Isley, who's also got his share. We could do Isley Brothers too. Atlantis. That's about a girl, right? Girl named Atlantis. Now, I went to Detroit public schools. I've heard a lot of them. Okay. Shinzara and all type of things. But Atlantis? No. But anyway, let's look at this. Angela Winbush, also formerly of Renee and Angela. You have to check out the video and the song to Lay Your Troubles Down with her ex-husband, Ronnie Isley. But here we go. Now, you know how the devil likes to turn things upside down. So to him, things that are right side up are upside down. Check. When I'm upside down, you turn me right side up. Wait a minute. Hold on, Angela. She didn't even let you dip your toe in the water. She jumped right in. Again, if the devil loves to, or if Satanists, Luciferians love to turn things upside down and backward, which they do. It's one of the Crowleyan rules. So I can give that some proper context. Somebody can say, oh, you just made it up. Aleister Crowley said that the initiate should learn how to talk backwards and walk backwards and write backwards. So here we go off the top. And Crowleyanism is rampant in the music business. I don't care if you make rock and roll music or you make folk or soul music. So he says, when I'm upside down, you turn me right side up. Wait a minute. Hold on. No. This is a different one. This is not the one I was looking for. Wow. Okay, so she made a second Angel song. The one I'm looking for. I thought that was Renee and Angela. Yes. Yeah, Bob. This Angel is from 1987. No, that's that same album. Like I said, sometimes they had the wrong things here. This is wrong. So let me pull up the right one. I know the right lyrics. Angel, an angel, I found an angel. Right here. Here we go. All right. We got to get it from Genius. She starts off doom, doom, doom. And she goes into her ums and ohs and all of that, moaning and groaning for Lucifer, because there's also the succubus and incubus aspect of this thing too, which we'll get into when we do Shaka Khan Ain't Nobody. I found a certain paradise within my life with you. Also, in many of these songs, you'll find this promise of paradise, love, light, and flight, fueled, injected passion. This claim that, again, he promises big, but he delivers very disappointingly. So he promises this paradise, just as he did with Adam and Eve. I'll set you free. You take this and you'll be as the gods. He promises a paradise if you come with him. So she starts off, I found a certain paradise within my life with you. And she says, heaven opened up its gates and peace of mind came shining through. And then oftentimes when you see a reference to heaven, when you hear a woman singing heaven, I wouldn't want to go to heaven. There's something about that. It disarms you and you think it's just something pretty that she's singing. But whether we're talking about Angela right here saying heaven opened up its gates, or whether we're talking about Sade singing in Cherish the Day that if you were mine, I wouldn't want to go to heaven. That's the line. That's what she says. If you were mine, I wouldn't want to go to heaven. That is what Sade says in Cherish the Day. So here you have the same thing here. Just because the word heaven is there don't mean it's something heavenly being said. Heaven opened up its gates. Yeah, to kick his, huh? Yeah, that's what Sade saying. But here you have Angela saying, heaven opened up its gates and peace of mind came shining through. And now the shining. Yeah, heaven opened up its gates to kick his raggedy tail up out of there. But he came from heaven. Sent from heaven. What's your girl name? I wish I could see my cousin's face. Okay. But yeah, he came from heaven. He did come from heaven. Okay. Huh?
Or heaven sent. They say that a lot.
Right. Or heaven sent. Again, part of this code that's used to make the layman, or rather to make the uninitiated, unaware. And in so doing, by default, they get you to join along with them in prayer and praise and worship and dedication and oath to this silver shadow, to this spirit, to this devil, this angel. He was an angel that aids them. So, and then for some of them, it's God didn't do nothing for me. What was that? For some of them, it's God didn't do nothing for me. But as soon as I got with the devil, I started getting things. Did y'all hear Crunchy Black? I got that too. I was going to show that too. Crunchy Black from 666 Mafia may have the interview where it's the smoking gun. I've never heard an artist say it as flat out as he said it. He said, yeah, they teach a lot about God, but they don't teach you about the devil. You have to make a choice, and you can't make a choice just from one side. Everybody got their choice. We dealt with the devil and blah, blah, blah. That's what Crunchy Black said. So this is something that's been going on no matter how pretty the song is. No matter how well worded and poetic it is. This is poetic. Again, what is poetry? Some forms of poetry is a bunch of flattery and lies. Some forms, not all, some, not all. I found a certain paradise, because Song of Solomon is poetic. I found a certain paradise within my life with you. Heaven opened up its gates and peace of mind came shining through. You smiled at me when the world was unkind. Everybody else turned their back on me, and you opened yourself up to me. And a lot of times that's when the devil will present himself to an artist, when an artist is on their knees and knuckled like a lawn chair. He comes at them at that moment. She said, you smiled at me when the world was unkind. I was finally able to unwind. Really, I call you man angel. Here we go again with some of this lofty stuff. The sun can rise and set with no regrets. I can forget all about my blues. My life can take direction now. This reminds me a lot of Love TKO. And my mind a clearer point of view. I mean, the type of songwriter secret song it is. In Love TKO, Teddy's kind of doing the same thing. He's saying how, same thing in Silver Shadow. How, hey, things wasn't working right for me, the way I was doing them. So let me try this new thing. You want to do that next? You lift me up. Okay, she said, my life can take direction now, my mind a clearer point of view. Okay, you lift me up when I'm torn down. You brought me out of this lost and found. I found an angel. Yeah, an angel. So she's giving all credit for her success to this angel. All right.